and welcome to Lily High on Life. It's all very exciting here in the studio. We're actually streaming on LinkedIn, and our very special guest today is Max Gross. Max, welcome to Lily High on Life.
Thanks for having me. I am excited to be high.
Well, let's hope it stays that way right through the show. But I really wanted to have you on the show because you had such a positive energy when I first met you, and you also have these skills that I know absolutely nothing about, and you are also of a very different demographic in terms of where you've been, what you do, and of course your age as well. So for all of those reasons, welcome, and tell us a little bit about what you're doing with your life right now that you're excited about.
Well, I am very excited. I'm currently doing a bit of a job drive. I've been looking for more work. I've had some really exciting interviews at different places, and you know, I guess when you're in between and you're searching for new work, you can do extra things that you haven't wanted. You always want to do. I've been going out doing a lot of photography with my new 360-degree camera, exploring some of the great shopping centres of Melbourne, and so that's been really exciting.
So this photography thing that plays such an important part of your life and has even become important within your career. Talk to me a little bit about how you got involved with it.
So it was about 3 years ago, and I was visiting the Philippines, and I was outside of the Shangri-La Hotel. My phone came up with a little ding notification that said, "Hey Max, would you like to take a 360 photo of the place that you're currently at?" And I was like, yeah, I think I will. I'm going to say yes.
Don't you love AI?
Exactly. So I took my first 360 photo with my phone, and it came out okay. It came out really well.
How were you able to do a 360-degree photo with your phone without even knowing you could do it?
It's really interesting. You just sort of go around in a circle with the camera, and it captures a photosphere. Using a phone. In fact, I can show you afterwards. It's hard to just show it.
Okay, on radio, it's hard.
But yeah, and then I had such a great time with that. I decided to invest in buying standalone cameras
that were 360.
That are 360
enabled.
Yeah, so this is I've just got my third one now, and it's great. It's a very high resolution, and it's very quick. And when you're doing photography in a business, you can't spend all time. You got to be quick and efficient so that they can serve their customers.
Was it the fascination of the technology, or was it the photography bent that you already had?
I love exploring technology and the latest trends in tech, and it's just great to be able to. It's great to be able to connect with something that's special. You know, not everyone can do 360 photography, and so it's nice to have that competitive edge when you're offering your marketing services.
That makes perfect sense. But have you also been technologically inclined? Like when you were going through school, when you have picked up your first computer, was technology something that you integrally understood and were drawn to?
Oh, I might be showing my age, but I couldn't pick up my first computer. It was so big.
Okay, and I thought you were in your 20s, so there you go.
But I do love technology, but I mean, it's just a way of communicating at scale, which is so great. You know, if I want to communicate with a LinkedIn local networking event, I can use technology to email everyone all at once rather than handwrite letters and mail them individually. I can just do a group email.
Wow, and it's got pictures. So
yeah.
What were you doing over in the Philippines?
So I was visiting my wife's, or I think my girlfriend at the time, his family, and it's really interesting going to the Philippines because my grandpa went to the Philippines when he was escaping the Holocaust.
Tell us that story.
So he was in Germany, and it was just I think it was about 4 or 5 months before Kristallnacht. And he was just reading the room. It's like, there was so much discrimination. It was becoming a hostile environment towards Jewish people. And so he got out of there, and he managed to get a job with a friend of a friend in a paper mill in Manila.
Wow. And in those days, Manila was really on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
Do you know more about how all of that happened?
I do know that he went there with his sister and his cousin, and I know that he worked very hard there, and then the Japanese came and bombed, and so they retreated to the rural areas, and he was quite malnourished when he was started to emigrate to Australia from Manila, and he was it's funny because when I was a kid he was quite a big man because he always finished everything on his plate.
Wow.
Because he remembered the tough times. And
did he tell you the stories? What he went through in Manila and leaving?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
I don't remember if he did say them or if he didn't, but most of them I heard through my mum. Yeah.
And he was part of your childhood as you were growing up.
Yeah. He worked in a wood mill, but he actually founded his own Mitre 10 in Canberra called Horton's Hardware, which later become a Mitre 10 franchisee.
Wow.
And so I remember, actually, speaking of computers, I remember going to his store, and he was so proud. He's like, "Look, Max, I got this new computer, and you click the colors. He's got a wheel of colors that'll show you what paint will look like on your house."
Wow!
And I was like, magic! Whoa, blue house, pink house, brown house. Nobody wants that. Green, orange house. Like, so he was so proud of his paint computers and his business.
So your parents were here first, of course, which is probably one of the reasons he was able to come here.
Say that again?
Was because your parents were already here and related? Is that why they were able to come to Australia from Malaysia?
No. He came to Manila, and then he had my parents, or he had my mum in Sydney, and then they moved to Canberra.
Okay, got it. These stories of how people reunite and families come back together are so fascinating.
Yes.
From your side, your parents were both born in Australia.
Correct.
But do you remember spending time with your grandparents and hearing their stories?
I remember going to Canberra a lot. And I remember my grandma's stories, and it's interesting because grandma's stories started off, they sort of got grander and bigger over time. I remember she told a story when she was in the WAFs, the British Air Force or something like that. And,
wow! And
she was in the barracks and sleeping, and then one night there was some shrapnel that came through her window and landed on her pillow, and it started off like a 20-cent coin, and then it became a 50-cent coin, and then it became a huge boulder. And, oh my gosh! Every time she retold the story, the extra embellishments.
Amazing. Yeah. And then you married a girl from the Philippines.
Yes. So my wife, Janica, is from the Philippines. She's been here for 10 years, but we married 2 years ago.
Did you met here when she was here?
We met. She lived in Elwood, and I lived in St Kilda East. So we lived 3.5 kilometres away from each other, and we'd never met. We'd never met.
How did you meet?
We met on this cool new dating app called Clover.
Okay, never heard of it.
It's really cool. So you're allowed to. It connects you with people who live in your local area. So if you don't want to date somebody in, say, Adelaide or Tasmania or Sydney, you can actually date people who live very close to you, and you can filter it by age or gender or smoking status. So it's a really powerful app. Clover, download it today.
And of course, there was no problem for you dating her and marrying her.
No.
I'm assuming she's not Jewish from the Philippines.
She's Catholic. So we have a blended family, which is fantastic. So we get the best of both worlds.
So tell me a little bit about that blending. Was it a real blending? Was it even a problem for your parents?
No, it wasn't a problem for my parents. We have a very blended family. My auntie is from a Christian background. My uncle is from a Christian background. My dad has remarried someone from a Christian background. And I think that part of a part of a successful blended family is just really understanding other person's needs and listening and respecting it and just enjoying the best of both cultures.
So what is it about the Jewish culture that's important to you that you keep? Is it just Passover and Yom Kippur, or a little bit more than that?
I don't know. Gee, what's not important? I think everything's important. I wouldn't say anything, but I don't know.
Like you went to a Jewish school, for example.
I did. I went to Bialik for primary school. I wouldn't say that anything about Judaism is not important, but I really enjoy my Jewish faith, and I've been involved with progressive synagogues my whole life, and I really enjoy being part of it.
So let me put it a different way. What was it important that your wife understood about being Jewish and the culture, especially since you've got a baby now? So
yeah, that's a great question. I think, what is the most important thing about being Jewish?
Like, does your family do Pesach Seder, for example?
Oh, yes, we do Seder. We do
So
Rosh
she comes to
Hashanah.
that.
Oh, yes. We do family Shabbats. So
You
she comes
do?
to that. Yeah. We don't do it every Shabbat, but we probably do it probably do it once a month, and we really enjoy it.
Oh, and then will your child be going? Have you discussed if you're going to send your child to a Jewish school?
No, that's too expensive.
You were talking about your wife and meeting your wife here, but she's from the Philippines, so and she's been part of a lot of these your Jewish meals and traditions.
Yeah. Well, and vice versa. So she comes to Bubs and Bagels at Temple with Israel, where they eat Bubs and Bagels and sing Shabbat songs, which is a really fun experience. And I love going to Filipino restaurants around Melbourne, exploring Filipino food with her. I've been to church with her a few times, but always go to her family celebrations and vice versa. So it's a really nice blended family.
Tell me a little bit about Filipino food, because it's not something I'm really familiar with. And I love food.
There's not a lot of Filipino food in Melbourne, but it's really good. They've got lots of good crispy pork dishes. They've got lots of fish dishes, lots of grilled chicken. So shout out to Chad's Chicken House in Springvale. They have a great chicken.
You like the Filipino food? Does she like typically Jewish food, like gefilte fish and
No, nobody likes gefilte fish.
I like gefilte fish. Well, actually, it depends if it's Polish or Czechoslovakian, but that's fair enough as well.
And nobody likes matzah. Challah, she's all,
matzah with peanut butter definitely helps.
I haven't had it.
Definitely helps. You also write a food blog.
I do. I've been food blogging for a couple of years on my own website, maxplusfood.com.
Spelt out. Max P-L-U-S.
Correct. Max P-L-U-S food, F-O-O-D.com. And I just enjoy... I eat out a lot. I love exploring Melbourne's food scene. So I thought, why don't I share my knowledge and my experiences and my photos on a blog?
I love that. And so you've got really easy to read and see restaurants and photos and your thoughts on the food.
That's true. I mean, it's a bit. I'm just trying to, because I used to do a lot of work for restaurants. I used to do social media for restaurants, and I used to do consulting. So it sort of was part of that. And
what do you do for a restaurant when you do social media and marketing?
So often restaurants don't have the skills or experience to take photos or for social media, or not know what to do on social media. So I just consult with them. I help advise them on how they can use social media to bring in more bookings, to bring in more bums in on seats. And
how does one do that? Just describe the process and what you tell them that they need to do, because people can contact you, Max Gross
exactly maxgross@outlook.com. I guess the key is to
Max Gross at
Max Gross, MAXGROSS, Max Gross @outlook.com. Mm-hmm. And I think the key is just capturing the essence of your restaurant in photos, in videos, and in 360 videos, and sharing that on social media so people can consume that, enjoy that, and make a booking.
Sharing on social media. Everybody talks about social media, but a lot of people don't really, they go, oh yeah, I've got Facebook, or some people might know about LinkedIn. What can you just take us through what you really need to do to be on social media.
Well, I guess it's really about connecting with your audience. So if you are a helicopter brand and you want to connect with people who are interested in taking helicopter rides, it's about giving them things that will entice them to make a helicopter ride booking. Information about helicopter rides, unique helicopters, and any specials that you have about helicopter rides.
So do you use all the platforms? Do you use Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook, and what else is there?
TikTok, Square, Flume, Gloop, Rubidoo. 3 of them I made up.
Do you need to be everywhere, or what?
It just depends on how much time you have, how much return on investment you're getting from each platform, and your audience. So if you're a really B2B, business to business sort of company, then LinkedIn is the best place to be. If you're trying to attract consumers, B2C, Facebook and Instagram are fantastic. And if you're a politician who wants to connect with voters, or a newspaper that wants to connect with news type of people, and then Twitter's a great platform for newsy and politicians to interact.
You're pretty knowledgeable about all of those.
Yeah.
And
yes, I am.
and the way and what to actually put on them to get the most bang for your buck.
Correct.
Sort of
you need to measure it and see what's working, what's not working, and if something's not working, change your strategy.
And you're able to measure. There's
analytics tools in all of them. Yeah, I mean some of the newer ones like Snapchat and TikTok, I'm not really across them, but that everything is developing quite fast, and there's always new ways to measure and ways to get good results on social media. So
when you realised that you enjoyed this, because you obviously do, and you realised you could make money from it as well, how does that make you feel in terms of, wow, look how great life is now?
I guess I really enjoy helping small businesses and medium-sized businesses get the results they deserve. There's no point being the best business in the world unless people know about it. You don't want to be the best restaurant that no one's ever heard of.
Yes.
So it's about getting your message out there, and I'm helping you get your message out there to connect with more potential customers, or with your current customers, to remind them to come back in and try our shopping centre, try our restaurant, try our floristry shop.
So now I notice that you have a focus on shopping centres, which is a great focus to have because they're huge. They've got lots of shops.
I know. I love working with Spencer Outlet Centre, and I love working with Carnegie Central. They're such fantastic shopping centres. And so I go there regularly to take photos for them and to help them with their Google Maps, and just to help them use it up to get more people in the door.
Right. And then you're also involved with LinkedIn groups.
Yes, I have a LinkedIn training group called LinkedIn Local Melbourne with my friends. We have a committee.
I've been to one of your events and it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I'm so glad you had a good time. We always enjoy having you. And I think, LinkedIn is, especially for people, less for companies, but for people, for solopreneurs, if you want to, really succeed and if you want to reach out to more people, LinkedIn's a great avenue.
Do you feel Westfield, for example, is doing a good job with these social media?
I don't know. I haven't looked at Westfield social media. It's a great question. I have to check it out and give them say what they're doing well and what they can improve on.
Yeah, a report would be really apropos to maybe getting some more business.
Westfield, if you're listening, actually,
lots of Westfield people on LinkedIn.
Can I tell you about a kind of an embarrassing story about Westfield?
Yes, absolutely.
I wanted to get into shopping centre work, and so I applied, for a Christmas casual concierge position, just helping out a customer service at Westfield, at one of their centres, and I was really excited. I went in. I got the role, and I'd do a medical check and 2 interviews and training, and then at the end of all of it, they gave me this fluoro vest, and they're like, actually, you're going to be in the car safety and valet and car safety section. And I'm like, what? What? The car tech. And I'm like, no, wait, what? No, that's not what I applied for. What? It was really strange. They gave all the girls the concierge position, and they gave all the boys this position. I was like, oh, look, this isn't what I applied for. I'm going to bounce.
You said no.
Yeah.
Westfield.
Well, Westfield's great, and I really enjoyed it. It was just that I think that whoever was hiring wasn't communicating effectively.
Well, that's one of my bugbears. Once an organisation, whoever it is, gets too big, then they do themselves harm because the focus is not really always where it's supposed to be. So had someone in HR really taken the time, Max, they could have... Oh,
my gosh.
You could have both been...
I'm sorry, Westfield, if you're listening. I'm sorry. I really want to work with you, but just not.
Well, and that's actually why I brought it up, because I feel that from what I've seen of your work, you probably have a lot to offer that whoever's doing whatever in-house is an adjunct. Not that they're not doing a good job, but you have a wider view because you've been in so many other situations of what you're doing. Did I walk my way out of that one nicely
I think
for
you did. Thank you. Yeah.
No, you've come to this stage with what you're doing. If you look forward, say 5 years from now, and everything goes ideally, what would you like your life to look like then in terms of work and family?
I mean, well, the presidential election is only a year away. So
that's the American one.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe in 5 years I could be going for my second term as president. No. I love shopping centre marketing, so I would love to get in become a shopping centre marketing assistant or marketing manager. That's something that I'm applying really hard with my skills at the moment. That's something I'm really interested in. There's so many great shopping centres in Melbourne, so
there really are.
Yeah. So my experience leads me to that, and so that's something I'd be excited for. I mean, I'd love to, save up to get a house. That's something that my family's looking into because, we're just in an apartment at the moment, and we've got a 1-year-old, but we want to get
maybe a shopping centre overseas.
Oh yeah, that'd be exciting. There's got something in the Philippines. Maybe I could go there.
So many more options over there. Absolutely, and they have supermarket conferences all over the world. That might be something to look into.
That's very true. That's very true. So I'm excited for the future. I think that the world is going in a positive direction, and so
I like to think so. Even though it may not look like it on the news. How many more kids?
I think one.
Another one.
I think, my rabbi always says, if you have 2.3 children, that is ideal because that's the natural rate of replacement.
Okay.
If everyone has 2.3 children, the population will not rise.
Have you discussed it with your wife?
Yeah.
She's happy. She's open.
She's like 2 or 3. Okay. I'm like 2.
That's fair enough. Now, I know you've been to Israel and you went with your brother. Tell us a little bit about that trip.
We went on an Orges trip, and it's Australasian Union of Jewish Students, the best union of Jewish students.
Of course.
And, it was about a birthright, Taglit, if you will.
Yes.
And it was so great to explore Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, the Dead Sea, Yifat.
So your parents had instilled this sense of pride in Israel and Jewishness in you? Or was that the school or just generally?
My parents don't really care so much for Israel. It's just not part of their
who and what they were.
Yeah, Mum's visited Israel once. She had a great time there, but I had to convince her. I was like, Mum, you got to go to Israel.
Oh, good on you, Max.
It's just,
so they took you everywhere, and you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I met some of my relatives in Israel, which was really beautiful. And they had such great food in Israel. The food is fantastic, especially in Tel Aviv.
Have you been to Miznon here in the city?
I have been to Miznon many times. Miznon is a delicious Israeli restaurant, and everyone should visit Miznon. They have such great pittas, and they have such great cauliflower. The cauliflower. What do you like about the cauliflower?
I love cauliflower, but this is amazing. It's just the texture, the taste. I made the mistake of trying to take it home the first time I ordered it because it was so big and I didn't want to eat it all.
Leftovers are good, but it's good to share. It's something for it's good for two. You share between two. Also, their bag of golden meat is really beautiful. You've got the onions, you've got the beef brisket that's just like really nice and crispy and moist. So,
do you have another favorite Israeli restaurant here?
I really like Miznon. Miznon's my favorite, but I also went to Noga this week, which is really nice. But that's not Israeli. That's more like
it's a kosher restaurant on Carlisle Street.
Correct.
And they have best sushi.
They have good sushi.
Having eaten non-kosher sushi and kosher sushi, their sushi is good.
It's good for kosher sushi. And I had the par of soy chicken stir fry.
Oh wow!
It was really yummy. It had the fresh vegetables.
We'll have to do a food show. I can see this.
Yes.
Maybe we'll do that together instead of Shabbat Shalom. We'll do a food show.
I'm doing a food crawl this Sunday. So if people love food and they want to experience some of the best foodie secrets of Melbourne, I'm doing a food crawl this Sunday, 11:30 in the city at Pelicana. We're starting off.
How do they contact you about it? Give out your phone number.
Just add me on Facebook, Max Cross, or send me a message on
Max
Facebook.
Cross on Facebook.
Max Cross on Facebook. Because we're going to be. I'm just going to tell you where we're going to go because we've got 3 amazing restaurants that we're going to be visiting. So first off, we're going to Korean fried chicken.
I've heard about that. It's supposed to be excellent.
It's very trendy. There's lots of Korean fried chicken restaurants starting up in Melbourne. So we're going to Pelicana's, which I haven't been to yet. We're going to Rainbow Toasty.
I haven't heard of it.
It's toasted cheese, but the cheese is rainbow coloured. So when you open it up like this, it's like rainbow. It's really visually stunning.
I'll have to look that up.
And then we're finally, for dessert, we're going to Hui Lao Shan, which they have 100 restaurants in around the world. This is the first one they have in Australia, and it specialises in Hong Kong-style mango desserts.
Wow. Okay.
So mango desserts. Like, do you like mango?
I love mango.
So you should check this restaurant out.
Absolutely. I absolutely will. So it seems like an international culinary trip.
It really is all around Asia and Korea.
Do you like travelling? Did that trip to Israel give you a sense of wanderlust?
I like travelling, but I really love travelling. One of my favourite things is just travelling to bushwalking in Melbourne, because you don't need to go all the way around the world. There's so many great things to explore in your own town. If it's food in the city, it's bushwalking. I love.
Where do you go bushwalking here?
We go to the Dandenong Ranges. We go to.
Put the kid in a backpack?
Yeah, we just put them on. We just go for a walk. Love walking along Elwood Beach. Love walking the Melbourne Botanical Gardens.
I've heard.
So, have you been?
I've been to the Botanical Gardens since I was a little girl, but I haven't been so much now, but I have many friends that walk around and through the gardens.
The forest walk in the Melbourne Botanical Gardens is beautiful.
I did not realise there was such a thing.
There's a forest. It's beautiful, and you can just chill in there and relax. And the other one is in Cranbourne. There's the Royal Botanical Gardens. Melbourne has a sister park in Cranbourne. Strongly recommend. And that's a beautiful place to also explore.
So, Max, let's talk a little bit about how your life has changed since you had your own child.
Well, some people say that their life is full of shit. But mine, really, they will just wait till they have a baby, because then your life will really be full of, I don't know if I can say it, but it will be full of poo. So I've been changing a lot of nappies. Jan is in charge of input, all the food, and I'm in charge of output.
That seems reasonable to me.
It's a fair exchange. So I've been looking after her.
What about the way that you look at the world and look at your parents? Do you look at things differently now that you have that responsibility?
I do. I'm so thankful for all my parents who had to change all that nappies and had to look after me, and I didn't realise how hard work. It's good work, but it's a lot of hard work, and it's beautiful.
And does it give you more hope for the future, or does it make you a little more afraid, or how do you see things generally now?
It really hasn't changed the way I view the whole world. No, it just makes me want to work hard so I can provide for her, and I was working for myself and my wife before, but now I'm working for her as well.
Right. And do you remember from your own childhood when you went to school? Do you remember school days at Bialik? Even in primary school, were they happy times? Were they a little stressful? Was it because it was a very different time?
I do remember them. I don't remember them that well.
You remember orange jellies from birthday parties. So were the parties fun?
Yes, I remember my mum would always make orange jelly. So she'd scoop out an orange and she'd fill it up with
homemade orange jellies.
Yeah, orange jellies. Do you know? Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
I haven't even. I don't. I remember people used to do that.
Yes, they don't do it anymore. They should.
Well, now they have all these silicone things that make beautiful shapes.
They're not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same as an orange at all.
I'm going to make some for Shifra.
Okay.
My daughter Shifra. And
it's probably something your wife never had back in the Philippines also.
I don't think so. I haven't asked her, but I don't think so. I think it's a very Australian thing.
It is, like meat pies and lamingtons and pavlovas.
Yes. Oh, meat pies, sausage rolls,
all of the good stuff.
Party stuff.
Max, this has been lovely. We're absolutely running out of time. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing.
Thank you so much for having me, Lily.
I can't wait to see where you go next with the supermarkets, and let's talk about it a little more, because there are so many global options for you, not just Australia.
Well, thanks, Lily, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Wow, powerful interview.